Welcome to the March 2021 update for the CTT China Tourism Training Edition 2021. CTT is offered in 5 different tracks for hospitality, destinations, retail, attractions, and transportation by COTRI, China Outbound Tourism Research Institute, based in Hamburg, Germany, in cooperation with the Hong Kong Polytech University School of Hotel and Tourism Management. This update is provided first of all for all members of the CTT Alumni Network and all current participants of a CTT online training. The video you're watching now is also available for all other persons and companies interested in China's outbound tourism, still the biggest tourism source market in the world. CTT Alumni Network members are furthermore provided with an access to the CTTAN library, which is extended every month with more relevant and exclusive content. The CTTAN membership is free of charge and will offer additional benefits during the coming months and years. My name is Professor Dr. Wolfgang Georg Arlt. I've been working with the Chinese tourism market for more than 4 decades as a tour operator, as a tourism professor, and since 17 years as the founder and CEO of COTRI. This monthly update presents some of the current developments in the Chinese outbound market as an addition to the extensive information provided in the CTT program, which aims for successful participants with a verified university certificate from the Hong Kong Polyu and COTRI. More information about how to participate in the CTT China Tourism Training is available on china-outbound.com. So, unfortunately, the SARS-CoV-2 virus is still with us, and with the mutants appearing, many destinations, especially in Europe and South America, did not yet see a decrease of cases, as the vaccines are also arriving slower than expected, if at all, in many countries. Nevertheless, there are positive signs that China's outbound tourism will soon start again. During the annual plenary sessions of the People's Congress and the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, so-called the 2 meetings, Lianghui, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi announced the introduction of a digital health passport for global travel to ease the flow of travelers. Wang said it would allow China and other countries to verify the result of a traveler's COVID-19 nucleic acid test and whether that person had been vaccinated against the coronavirus and meet also the requirements of fully protecting personal privacy. Wang Yi also revealed plans to set up regional vaccination sites using Chinese-made vaccines for overseas Chinese and Chinese nationals currently in countries outside of China. And very recently, also China has announced that foreigners living in China will be given a vaccination. So this is also in line with the results of several recent surveys, which show that the majority of Chinese is eager to travel outbound again as soon as possible, actually more eager than the people in many other countries. CTTAN members will find these materials also in the CTTAN library. Last month in the February update, you may remember that we speculated how much optimism would show up in the mindset of the industry in the discussions during the ITB Berlin Now virtual fair and conference. In fact, most tourism providers we talked to showed cautious optimism, seeing the famous end at the light of the tunnel, which from our point of view is certainly a Chinese lampion. The meeting software and the server, crucial elements of a completely virtual event, continued to have hiccups and flaws during the ITB in Berlin Now, but that could not stop several thousands of participants to exchange their views and maybe also their frustration. As the German saying goes, geteiltes Leid ist halbes Leid. The English equivalent, by the way, a problem shared is a problem halved, is slightly different, as the Germans share their sufferings, not their problems. Unfortunately for the Messe Berlin, the Berlin Fair Company, the organizer of the ITB, there was more suffering to share for them. The ITB China Special Edition, planned to take place on May 7 and 8 in 2021 in Beijing, was supposed to be a newly designed hybrid event combining core trade show and convention elements in a compact format. Destinations and suppliers were promised to be able to promote their products and services for 2 days and meet top-level buyers from China's leading travel agencies face-to-face at their booths during exclusive and pre-scheduled B2B meeting sessions and each day's exclusive networking lunch. A strong conference lineup with comprehensive hybrid functionalities and the option to be represented online by dedicated and individually instructed ITB China booth hostesses for exhibitors who were not able to attend in person were offered as well. This way, the event was supposed to offer an important platform to restart China's outbound tourism. Alas, last week, Messe Berlin had to announce that the ITB China Special Edition will not take place as planned in May, and I quote, due to the cross-border restrictions resulting from the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, unquote. Instead, an offline industry gathering at the end of June is planned to provide an invitation-only networking event for China-based industry professionals to exchange updates and insights on the future of the Chinese travel market. After the mixed results of the ITB Berlin Now, and also the announcement that Saudi Arabia will be the official partner country of ITB India 2021 next month in April, which raised quite a few eyebrows. This is another blow for the most important tourism fair in the world, and especially its China offshot. Gone are the dedicated and individually instructed ITB China booth hostesses, as only those representatives of international companies already residing or stuck in China have a chance to be invited. Because Chinese travel agencies are, at least according to David Axiotis, the general manager of ITB China, and I quote again, not yet ready to resume regular business activities. Even for the postponed ITB China and the accompanying ITB China conference planned to take place in Shanghai from now November 24 to November 26, 2021, a hybrid concept is going to be announced that will allow all exhibitors, regardless of their location, as it is said, to participate without hostesses as stand-in, but Zoom appearances instead, it seems. Meanwhile, GITF Guangzhou International Travel Fair, the oldest travel fair in China, is reacting in a, let's say, less fuzzy way to the ongoing pandemic. The postponed fair, which was originally supposed to happen in February, will go ahead as planned in June, but this year as a purely domestic tourism fair, without international exhibitors, and also without, I'm sorry to say, the COTRI organized international conference. In February 2022, GITF will revert to the former format with international exhibitors at an even bigger conference concentrating on the recovery process of Chinese outbound tourism, especially in the Greater Bay Area, comprising Guangdong Province, Hong Kong, and Macau, and certainly an event worthwhile visiting. No grief came from the joint session of WTCF, World Tourism Cities Federation, and COTRI during the ITB Berlin Now convention. The CEO of Airbnb China, for instance, shared information during the session about the support of hosts of Airbnb to train them in producing videos and live streams showing the surroundings of their apartments. So actually earning some money for them from such guiding videos at a time when no income could be made of short-time rentals. And also getting people interested to visit after the pandemic is over. The CEO of Trip.com Academy confirmed that there was a discount battle already raging in China, with which much more to come and much more discounts to be awaited when Chinese started again to travel outbound. ITB Berlin Now convention only had time for a shortened version of the panel discussion, but the full coverage is available on YouTube at the COTRI channel, and of course also in the CTTAN library. Looking at the current situation, the only place for mainland Chinese to travel to without the need for quarantine after coming back to the mainland remained the Macau Special Administrative Region, which in February 2021 welcomed more than 380,000 arrivals. A mere 15% of the 2019 number, but still about 80% of all Chinese outbound travels. How China's outbound tourism could start, maybe again, was demonstrated in March 2021 by the agreement between Palau and Taiwan. The island of Palau is actually among the very few countries outside of the Holy See which still recognize the Republic of China, currently residing on Taiwan, as the official representative of the Chinese people. Palau is also one of the few places on this planet which has remained without a single COVID-19 case. The Central Epidemic Command Center, as it is called, the CECC of Taiwan, announced last week the official start of the travel bubble with Palau. The 5 principles and the 3 conditions forming the base of the agreement may give us a glimpse of how the first steps back to international travel will look like. So it's worthwhile to look at it in some detail. The tourism bubble is set to start in April. The leader of CECC said during the announcement that he hopes that the new bubble will revitalize tourism and economic activities while taking into account safety measures to minimize the risk of infection and transmission. So, what are the 5 major epidemic prevention principles? First, travelers must stay with their tour group at all times. Personal excursions are not allowed. Second, the itinerary is based on the principle of avoiding crowds and demarking areas that are separate from local residents, and appropriate lodging and travel routes which must be selected in advance. Third, fixed transportation hubs will be adopted throughout the whole process, and vehicles transporting tourists will be cleaned and disinfected daily. Fourth, travelers can only stay in hotels that have obtained the Safety and Epidemic Prevention Certificate approved by the local health department in Palau. And finally, restaurants must have designated dining areas and appropriate distribution of customers with properly planned entry and exit paths and seating arrangements to maintain appropriate social distancing. Furthermore, there are 3 conditions for the Taiwanese travelers to qualify for the travel bubble. They are supposed to have no history of international travel within the past 6 months. They should not have been in quarantine or home isolation within the past 2 months, and they should have no record of a coronavirus infection within the past 3 months. Even more, there are additional measures which are required before departure and after return. Prior to departure, travelers must also provide a negative PRC test result to the authorities. After return, they have to undergo a period of what is called strengthened self-health monitoring, which means they do not need to do another PCR test or go into quarantine when they return, but they should stay for 5 days in a room alone or only with those with whom they travel together to Palau, wear mask, maintain social distancing, and do not eat together with others. After another negative test, they can venture out, but only to engage in fixed and limited activities and without using public transport or visiting crowded places while still wearing masks and maintaining social distancing. Before the Palau-Taiwan bubble actually started, and indeed a few hours after Europe reverted back to summertime, the Abu Dhabi Tourism and Data Analytics Forum, an annual gathering for the tourism industry in Abu Dhabi, this year of course virtual, to exchange data and insights on the latest trends in the industry, took place. It included a panel named The Way Back, What the World Can Learn from China's Travel Restart After COVID-19, which featured Olivier Henri Biabon, the CEO of TCI Research, and Sienna Perulis-Cook of Dragon Trail International, and myself as well. TCI could demonstrate that Abu Dhabi did a better job than most Middle East competitors in keeping a positive image in the Chinese market in the last 12 months. Sienna provided some teasers from the sentiment report on China's outbound market, which will be published by her company and will also be available in the library of CTTAN. In the discussion, it became apparent again that averages are not of much use in positioning your product and your brand. Most Chinese, according to the survey from Dragon Trail, still put tasting local food and sightseeing on top of their list of planned activities. But such averages are masking developments of growing niche markets which can provide the USP needed for destination, let's say, without an Eiffel Tower, to be successful in the storytelling, giving reasons why for a specific market segment the unique offer of this place is a reason for a visit of Chinese travelers with an interest in exactly that offer. That may be a short introduction to horse riding, a football camp for kids, or an after-hours tour through a museum with the director or the curator as a guide. Niches are huge in China and rather continue to grow. So don't let yourself be fooled by the correct fact that maybe 98% of the Chinese may not know or like your offer, but 90% of the Chinese have no money for international travel beyond Greater China. And 2% of the Chinese is still the population of Netherlands and Belgium combined. March also saw the finishing of the first COTRI Advantage Tourism pilot project for Tour España, showing a strong wish by Spanish service providers to engage in stronger and more successful ways with the new Chinese source market after the pandemic. But it showed also a significant gap between the enthusiasm for and the knowledge about the necessary steps to provide satisfactory services to the Chinese visitors and to stop visitors from China to populate only the major non-beach destinations during the main season, contributing rather to over-tourism than to the regional development of less visited areas or the mitigation of seasonality. The Advantage Tourism pilot project for Spain included several CTT online trainings so that at least for some DMOs, the level of knowledge and understanding should jump up significantly. And of course, we will welcome them into the CTT Alumni Network. That's it for March 2021. I sincerely wish you all the best, as we all hope that the number of people on this planet infected and killed by the virus will come down in April, and the international borders will start to be opened with the help of green passes or other health passes as they are developed. Please have a look at the many other videos on the COTRI YouTube channel, including the editorials of COTRI Weekly, and at additional information in our LinkedIn posts and on china-outbound.com. If you have not yet participated in one of COTRI's CTT online trainings, now is the time to come out of hibernation and put on the shining armor of knowledge. As Dr. Taleb Rifai, former Secretary General of UNWTO and current Secretary General of WTFI World Tourism Forum Institute, said in an interesting and thought-provoking interview in English to a Portuguese TV journalist, and I quote, "Tourism will not bounce back, but we will leap forward into a new world." WTFI, by the way, is launching the new HATT Business School, and the department of it, the HATT Business School Institute, of which I have the honor to be the founding dean. But more about this next time. Thank you very much.